Okay, dear student, Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to our class of biopharmaceutics. In this class, we have already learned some basic concepts of bioavailability, bioequivalence, and how we calculate the bioequivalence studies. And we have already known that some parameters from where we can check the bioequivalence of a product from plasma, from urine, from pharmacodynamic approach, and also some special cases where the FDA gives us some permissions to conduct the bioequivalence studies on special cases, and then in vitro approaches. And now we are moving towards some elements of bioavailability study protocols. Today we will read about the elements of a bioavailability study protocols. We will divide these elements into 10 major segments. First, I will write the names. First one is the title. We should first design a title of the bioequivalence or the bioavailability study. Then, study objective. Next would be the study design. Study population. Clinical procedure. Ethical considerations. Facilities. Data analysis. Drug accountability. And the last one is appendixes. These are the 10 basic elements which should be addressed when we are discussing bioavailability studies. Remember, we have already know the basic difference between the bioavailability and the bioequivalence. Bioavailability was actually to measure the amount of drug or the concentration of drug at site of action, and bioequivalence is actually a comparison. Comparison of what? Comparison between the test and the reference. And we have already studied the different ways how we can take the comparison. Now, we are now at the particular point. If we have a target to perform the bioavailability studies of a particular drug or the bioequivalence studies of a particular drug, then how can we perform these type of the experiments or these type of the studies? These are the some basic elements which we should have a complete or the complete knowledge and also the complete detail of our facilities. First one is title. Title should be very much clear. Title means what we are doing now, what we have been comparing for so far. We have to compare the same dosage form, same strength, and also the same salt of the APIs. So we will have to first construct a title of the study, then our study objectives. Why we are performing the bioavailability studies? What are our objectives? In case of title, we will divide it into two parts. One is principal investigator, who is also called study director. Another is project or protocol number detail. Means when we construct a title of an object of the study, we will be focused towards the basic criteria which are the adjusted by our principal investigators. Principal investigators are those person who are just applying the study, and they are confirming all these protocols are particularly confirming by using they have these facilities, and they can perform all studies. And in case of title, we should have to know their project and the protocol number detail, because first we will apply for this type of the title to the ethical review board for the ethical considerations. They will give us the permission to conduct this type of the study, because in case of bioavailability studies and the bioequivalence studies, we have to perform our research work, our studies on the human beings. And for the sake of when we are using the human beings and the healthy volunteers, we should have to take some type of the applications or the permission from the ethical review board. The ethical review board will give us some number of the project and detail of we will have to provide some detail of the projects, where the study will be conducted, who will be the principal investigator, who will be the investor, and what are the main theme or the main objective of our study. So we will have to focus on this. The title should be very much clear for the sake of this. And the basic, especially for the sake of objective should have clearly stated objective. The main objective of the bioequivalence study is that the drug bioavailability from test and reference product is not statistically different when administered to the patient or the subject. Our theme should be there are no any type of the difference of the application of the drug, either we are using in the test form or in the reference form. And they different when they administered to the patient or subject at the same molar dose from the pharmaceutically equivalent drugs products through the same route of administration under similar experimental conditions. These are the objectives. Now we will learn some points from the objective. Objective should be having the first one is bioavailability of test and reference is same. Second is the bioavailability is not statistically different. Third one is we will use the pharmaceutically equivalent products. And these are our basic objectives. What we are doing now, we are just performing the bioavailability studies. And now we are discussing when we have to perform the bioavailability studies, what are the main protocols we should have to be followed. And these protocols are, one is title. That should be very much clear and will be provided by the principal investigator or the study director, and getting the some project protocol number which should be given by the ethical review board, and then our subjective and our study objective. Study objective should be very much clear, and we will have to perform the some bioavailability studies. Next is study design. In case of study design, we will have to further classify this study design into first one is design, drug products, dosage regime, sample collection schedule, housing confinement, fasting and meal schedule, analytical methods, in case of drug products, there should be one is test and other is reference product. No, we will discuss all these one by one. In case of study design, we will first see how many doses we are using to perform the bioavailability studies. These doses may be single dose or the multiple dose. When we are performing the single dose study, the protocol is different, and when we are performing the multiple dose study, our profile and our protocol will be different. And second one is drug products. We should have two different types of the drug products, two or more than two. One is our reference, and reference product it should be from the RLD, reference listed drug, or the dosage form, those brands which are basically claimed they are the market leader, and they have their own research on the particular drug molecule. These products, these brands or these dosage form would be considered as reference products. We will compare this reference product with the test. Next is dosage regime. Dosage regime means what type of the dosage form we will have to use. Either we will have to compare the tablet with the tablet, capsule with the capsule, or the syrup with the syrup, and the other dosage forms. Sample collection schedule. These sample collection schedule will be adjusted, will be controlled by the principal investigator. He or she will be told us how can we calculate the samples, how many samples we have needed. Remember, when we take the samples from the blood, there are the different scenario, and when we are taking the drug concentration from the urine, we have the different values. I have already told in my previous classes, when we are discussing with the drug where we are collecting the bioavailability of the studies, we will have to we have to take the blood samples, at least it's 3.42 half-lives. And I have already told you, where we have to, for example, drug have the half-life 1 hour, then our total time should be 3.42 hours should be our time frame to collect the blood. And same if we have the half-life 2 hours, then 6.82, and if we have the 3 hours, then 9.42. Then we will, first of all, I will discuss the sample collecting schedule in the plasma. And in case of plasma, we will need 3.42 half-lives of the drug of the dosage form. And same case when we take and how many samples and what will be the schedule of the sample taking. Remember, when we construct a graph where we are using some type of the oral data, we have two phases. If we are discussing the one compartment model, one phase is our absorption phase and other phase is our elimination phase. And remember, we should have to know the Cmax and also the Tmax of the brand. If we know the Cmax of the drug and we know and also the Tmax, then we can observe that if we know the Tmax of the drug is 2 hours, say 2 hours, then we will have to make the maximum samples before the 2 hours, and after the Cmax we will make 1 or 2 samples only to just create the elimination area. Because our main discussion is, I have already told you, our main discussion is regarding the absorption. Because when we study the main phenomena, main concerns of the absorption, then we will apply the same, we can apply the trapezoidal rule, and we can also, for the sake of AUC and the feathering technique, for the sake of Ka absorption, Wagner-Nelson method for the Ka, these points should be maximum. These initial points should be more as compared to the elimination phase. So if we have a drug having the half-life 1 hour and the Tmax value is 2 hours, then our maximum points, 3 or 4 points of the blood collecting from the volunteer should be more before the 2 hours, because our Tmax is 2 hours. And after 2 hours, and now our total time was 3.42 hours, and the last time will be only one sample. That should give us the elimination criteria, elimination area. So conclusion is, we have to calculate many samples in the absorption phase, but only 1 or 2 samples in the elimination phase. So and we can calculate the total number of samples by from the from the volunteers when we are discussing with the plasma. Okay, next is, in case of urine, sample collection time. In case of urine, we have a concept of T half should be 7th T half. At least we have to calculate the urine of the volunteers at least for the 7 half-lives. When we are discussing with the 7 half-lives, then we will have to collect the urine, and we have already studied in ARE method, amount remaining to be excreted method, where we have calculated the urine volume on the different time frame, then convert into the concentration, measure its concentration by the method, by UV or the HPLC, and then we will convert into the dosage, into its amount, and then we perform the different parameters, half-life and other parameters. So in case of urine, we have to wait at least 7th half-life, and till 7th half-life we will have to calculate the amount of drug and so on. In case of pharmacodynamic effect, we should have to know their ED50 and also their different responses of the drug. So these are some collection schedule when we study the design. In case of parallel or the crossover design, then we will calculate the exact values of the how many samples we should have to calculate in case of the designing. Next is housing. Housing and other is another is confinement. In case of housing or the confinement means, these are basically these conditions are from towards the volunteers. How many facilities you should have to provide to the volunteers? You should have to provide them the comfortable environment. You should have to provide a balanced diet. You should provide them fasting before the study. You have remain them fasting before the study, and also provide the balanced meal. And then after performing the study, the organization and the principal investigators are completely responsible about their health. If they have some particular disease, and they have to be sign some agreement to give them the treatment of the particular disease if they are involved after performing these type of the studies. Okay, now if, in case of fasting or the meal, do you know there are the some very much effective concentrations, if a concentration of the drug in our body when we are discussing in our GI system at their absorption are disturbed with the meal, the presence of meal. Presence of meal may make some particular changes. For example, it changes the pH of the medium, pH of the area, and we have already clear our concept when we are discussing about the absorption of the drug. There the pH also perform having the some considering the some important parameter for the sake of absorption. And when we are discussing with the meal and presence of meal and the study in the fasting condition. Fasting condition will give us another area, and the presence of meal and the diet of the patient will give us another criteria. It will depend on the nature of the drug. If the drug is affected with the presence of the meal, presence of the diet, then we will have to make some protocols. Either these studies should be present in the fasting or the meal. Another is analytical method. Okay, analytical method is also the part of the study design. In case of analytical method, we can use UHPLC, LCMS, HPLC, and in case of UV, these are all the some analytical tools which we can use for to perform the analytical method. So remember, we will have to first create some standard curves, linearity curves. When we are discussing with the HPLC, we will have to create the standard curve of the not only with the mobile phase but also with the plasma. And we will take some fresh plasma of the and this fresh blood, and it convert into the plasma, and we will construct a linearity curve of the plasma, because this linearity curve will give us the exact estimation of exact calculation of the amount through the plasma. And in case of urine, we will also create some standard curve, and in case of the dose response curve, we should have also measure some standards. And also when we are discussing the in vitro parameters, because there are also some techniques which will give us the bioequivalence and the bioweaver studies by using the in vitro methods, by performing the dissolution procedure. And in case of dissolution procedure, we will have to use, or we can use the UV spectrophotometer, HPLC, high performance liquid chromatography, and mass spectroscopy, and a UHPLC. UHPLC is also another tool for the calculation of the different concentrations, either in the plasma or in the urine and some other. Okay, next is study population. Study population. Study population will also be divided into many segments. One is subjects, other is subject selection, inclusion exclusion criteria, restrictions. And in case of subject selection, how can we select a subject? We will check there. Medical history, physical examination, and laboratory tests. In case of inclusion and exclusion criteria, there are two parameters. One is inclusion criteria and exclusion criteria. Okay, let's take some review. Elements of the bioavailability studies of the protocol. These study protocols is our topic of study. And among the elements, we have title, study projects, study design, study population, clinical procedure, ethical considerations, facilities, data analysis, drug availability, and then appendixes. In case of title, we have two basic areas: considerations, principal investigator should decide, and ethical review board give us the some protocol number. In case of study objective, we should have to very much clear by to perform the what we are doing now. We are performing the some bioavailability studies and to confirm the behavior of a test product with the reference and proven that there are no any type of the statistically difference between the test and the reference. Then we will study the study design. Study design means we will have either we are performing the parallel design or the crossover design. And among the study design, we have already knows about the drug product. There are two types: test and the reference, and other is dosage regime. And there are some analytical methods and some parameters which are directly concerned with the human volunteers which we are using in the bioavailability studies. Next, our next concern is study population. Study populations means first of all we have to select the subjects. Okay, these subjects may be human, may be a healthy volunteer or the patients. If we are discussing with the patients, then we will use the word we are performing the clinical pharmacokinetics. And if we are using the word healthy human volunteers, then we are just performing the pharmacokinetic studies. Okay, in case of subjects, we will have to say, first of all take the particular population. What type of the population we are using? We are using the healthy for the sake of bioavailability studies. Why we are using the healthy? Because we are just taking the some protocols. We are just comparing the test with the reference. For the sake of comparison, we should have to measure the exact way of comparison from where we can compare or where we have some idea. Okay, in case of subjects, we will have to confirm either we are performing the study male or on the female. If we are performing the studies on the male, then what should be the age of the male? Their age should be they should be young one from 18 to 25 years, and they should have so because they at that particular age we can measure the some effects of the metabolism and also the some dosage form and there are some there other areas. In case of subject selection, we will have to perform some test to confirm to add these subjects into our bioavailability studies. What type of the test we will have to perform? We will check their medical history. If he or she are not taking any type of the medicine, or he or she is not passing through any type of the surgical procedures, and if they have now any type of the chronic disease, and we will have to first of all take the some medical history. And if we found that the healthy volunteers have no any type of the indications and no any type of their complications, and he or she are not using a particular medicine for the chronic diseases, so we will add them. We will consider them for our bioavailability studies, and then we will examine their physical examination, their weight, their height, their eyesight, their other parameters to check. Okay, because in case of bioavailability studies, we will have to take some samples, blood samples, and blood samples are not taken only just like taking up 1 pint of blood to apply it to give another patient. No, we have to take the some bloods 10 ml or 5 ml after the different time intervals, which we have already selected when we are performing our study designing. So we will have to check, okay, if either physically he or she is fit for this type of the protocol or not. If it is he or she is fit, then we will include them. Laboratory test, essential test we will perform, especially if we are discussing with some particular drugs who are directly influencing some parameters. Then the main their CBC, their urine test, and also their biochemistry like test, and also liver complete liver test. We will perform the laboratory test. Okay, another is inclusion and exclusion criteria. Remember, the people who are smoker are not included, but in some conditions we can include them when we are particularly studying some those drugs which are influencing. And in the same case of exclusion criteria, it will depend on our title and our study objective. What we are looking for, if we are looking for some type of the particular indications, because we have plenty of areas to measure the bioavailability and the bioequivalence, because if we are observing some pharmacodynamic effect, then our exclusion and inclusion criteria will be different. And if we are discussing only for the plasma analysis, our inclusion and exclusion criteria will be different. And if we are discussing with the calculations only from the urine data, then our exclusion and inclusion criteria will be different. And some restrictions, prohibitions. For example, who will not be the part of the study? For example, children will not be the part of the study. People who are in old age, more than 45, more than 50, would not be the part of the study. So these are some restrictions, and these are some study protocols. Other is our clinical procedures. In case of clinical procedures, we should have to dosage and drug administration. Dosage and drug administrations. Dosage and drug administration. Biological sampling schedule and handling procedure. Biological sampling schedule and handling procedure. Activity of subjects. Okay, principal investigator will decide what will be the drug administration procedure. How many doses we will give to the healthy volunteers, and what type of the dosage form we should have to be analyzed for the sake of bioavailability studies. And I have already told you biological sampling schedule and handling procedure, because in case of biological sampling schedule, we should have been very much clear. We should move towards a very less number of samples, because if we are planned to take many samples, our volunteers will not cooperate with us. And we should have to make them cooperative with us. For the sake of cooperation, we will provide them different activities, their different facilities, in the form of not only in the form of their meal, but also their living, their housing, their games, and also some other parameters. So activity of the subjects, these are the key parameters when we are performing the clinical procedures. And the main thing, first of all, if we are discussing that we are performing the bioavailability studies, single dose bioavailability studies, then we will take first of all decide how much drug or what type of the dosage form should be used, and then we will calculate how many samples we will take from the each volunteer, and then how are the facilities, how many facilities we will provide to the subjects to give us some best or the better results for the sake of for these type of the studies. Okay, next is our ethical considerations. Ethical considerations. In case of ethical considerations, we should know basic principles. Institutional Review Board, IRB. Informed consent. Indications for subject withdrawal. Adverse reactions and emergency procedure. Okay, these are our ethical considerations. In the case of ethical considerations, first of all, we should know the basic principle. We are using the human being. We are performing the test with the volunteers. So we should know the basic principle of the drug. We should know the nature of the drug. How many adverse effect a drug can show to the on the volunteers. We should know. And in case of IRB, Institutional Review Board, these are the particular board which are confirmed by an organization. And we first of all, when we plan any type of the bioavailability study, we will put an application to the IRB. They will take some meeting and they will decide either they have some facilities to perform these type of the tests, and if we have some type of the drug, the safety of the drug and the safety of the human beings, they will consider and they will give us some permission to perform these. And the composition of IRB is depends on the study of the protocol. In the IRB study, there should be a principal investigator, there should be some coordinator of the study, and also some the statistician, phlebotomist, and also one person from the community who should be a layman. Just they have to tell them their the concern regarding the different aspects of the study. And after taking the permission from the IRB will give us some information, some permission, and then the study will be performed. Informed consent. This type of the consent are taken from the healthy volunteers. They provide them, the principal investigator will provide them the detail of the project. What type of drug is, how many doses they have to be given, and how many samples during the study they will have to take from the healthy volunteers, and what are the if there are some complications, how they can be treated. And these are all the informed consent. Informed consent means giving us some information and taking the permission from the healthy volunteers. Healthy volunteers will be signed this type of the consent form because they are ready to perform, to be a part of this study. And in the case, informed consent should be in English or clearly in the simple language, or even a native language of the volunteer, because he or she can understand the complete pros and cons of the studies. Another is indications for the subject withdrawal. Okay, during the ethical considerations, the IRBs, institutional review boards, confirmed how were the some indications where the volunteers can withdraw their participation in the study, and because withdrawal are maybe due to some type of the complications, some type of the adverse reactions, and some type of the some type of the indication. In case of adverse reaction and emergency procedures, okay, in ethical considerations, the ethical review board confirm all these parameters. First one is the performing persons, the team who are performing the biological studies, bioavailability studies, are very well clear regarding their principles. They have taken the informed consent from the volunteers. They have told them some indications where volunteers can withdraw or subject can withdraw during the study, and how many adverse effects they can observe, and what are the main what are their way of the treatment, emergency treatment, when they are discussing with the performing this type of the study. Okay, next is facilities. In case of facilities, there should be a confirmation of all these. For example, when we are discussing these facilities, it means we are just taking some previous preview, because in case of facilities we can write facilities means they have the complete concept of the ethical considerations, they have the complete knowledge of the clinical procedure, study populations are very much clear by the principal investigators, and study design, then study objective. These are all basically considered with the facilities, analytical method, their instruments, and others. And another is data analysis. Data analysis are basically depend on the two basic concepts. One is the analytical validation procedure and statistical treatment of data. Analytical validation procedure, we can divide this data analysis into two. One is analytical validation procedure and statistical treatment of data. Okay, analytical validation means we will have to confirm what type of the analytical method we are using to confirm the amount of drug which are present in the plasma, and also the statistical treatment means we will have to apply some statistical tools, statistical areas, where in the case of statistical procedures, using a standard two treatment crossover design available from the FDA. The publication addressed the significant aspects including logarithmic transformation of pharmacokinetic data, sequence effect, and outlier considerations. These are all the statistical considerations, and where we have to check there any type of the intersubject variation, intrasubject variation, crossover design, their different aspects by applying the statistical treatment. Another is drug accountability. In case of drug accountability, we will have to check the safety of the drug, the safety parameters, their toxic levels, their toxic concentrations, their doses, and at the last is appendices. We will have to construct appendices to make this study very simple. Okay, we will move one by one when we discuss the design, and then we will apply all these parameters. So summary is, today we are discussing some elements to perform the bioavailability study and its protocol. There are 10 basic elements which we have to consider. One is the title, other is the study objective, study design, study population, clinical procedure, ethical consideration, facilities, data analysis, drug accountability, and appendices. And all these parameters are basically the necessary elements, necessary protocols for the bioavailability. Thank you very much. If you have any type of the question, then you may ask me and I will give you a proper answer. Thank you.